Well, the Tale of a Hole. And I wrote this after crossing the Nullarbor about 12, 14 years ago now. And I stopped on the cliffs. I always like to stop on the cliffs, anybody who travels over the Nullarbor. Stopped on the cliffs, and you can sleep at night and hear the waves crashing against the cliffs. You can actually feel it on a really stormy night. Once the moon come across the bight, it's just fantastic. I was on my own, and I find a nice spot off the road there. You know, anybody done the Nullarbor where you do that? How good is it when you can just... It is.
And there's endless numbers of tracks you can run down to explore and find the
I used to like the camp beside them blowholes, you know, and you get the sound of the ocean coming out. It's trippy, but now they're commercialised.
That's right, yeah. But in this particular case, I went for a walk to unkink the back, and in a little sort of declivity was a Ford 500 in immaculate nick, one of the old ones, about 1957. And in the back were two 18ers. One of them had still spike and it glistened in the morning light, and underneath there were two blokes sleeping in swags. I couldn't see anything except a wild mass of hair. And I sort of went past them and they snored. Their snoring was something else to hear. And as they came back, they'd woken up and they bailed me up and said, "Hey, Carl, how you going? What are you doing?" Talk to me. They said, "Come and have a cup of Java with us." And it was coffee, well, it was mostly rum. Where they'd actually sort of sprinkled a bit of coffee over the top of it. And it was about 3 days later, I was going past Iron Knob, if you know the way there, when I realised I was going the wrong way. I'd done about 400 kilometres in an alcoholic haze, going in the wrong direction, and I came back again. And they told me this story, and I thought, I'll put it into a poem form, because it's...
You're not the bloke that burnt the pub down there, are you?
No. Oh, no, which one?
The Iron Knob. Only one pub there, mate.
No, not anymore, there isn't.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
I know it was burnt down.
This is called Well, the Tale of a Hole.
These two blokes, strangely enough, both were named Bluey.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and they'd introduce themselves. They'd say, "Yeah, g'day, my name's Bluey, and this is Bluey too."
And he go, "G'day, mate, my name's Bluey, and this is Bluey too."
So of course you never knew which one's Bluey and which one's Bluey too.
We couldn't work it out at all.
Quite bizarre.
Went round and round, and they used it as a joke anyway.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And they told us this story. Now, Bluey and me, we propped in Kalgoorlie, a change of scene, now worried us unduly.
In fact, it's good for the soul.
Says Blue. We're armed with metal detectors deep in the mulga, flaming hot, fraught with flies, inspiring language quite vulgar, when all of a sudden we espies a very interesting hole. Now you know it's strange, quite extraordinary how a hole in the ground can attract a quite ordinary bloke's attention for reasons too many and sometimes just a little too weird to mention, especially if this hole is a big one. Well, we sort of fluttered around uttering exciting guttural sounds, casting round eyes, exacerbating and calibrating the size of stones to chuck into this holy humongous digging. Now Bluey goes first and he hauls to his shoulder quite a big rock.
Bullshit, it was more like a bowl.
Quite a big rock, and he heaves it down this here hole, and then we rush to the edge, hanging out for the splash. Not a sound. We listened again. Not a skerrick. Not even a clash of stone on the side. Says, "Aye, amazing," says Blue.
How droll.
Well, now it's my turn to take a turn, and I wrestles a lintel stone over the ground and in, and you could hear it whistling gently as it tumbled on, down, into nothing. "Struth," says Blue.
This bloody hole was dug by some bloody miner. The buggers near dug his bloody way near cleared a bloody China.
Well, Bluey and me never were designed to resign from a challenge such as this. Hey, here's a bloody great concrete railway sleeper, but surely it won't be missed. But can we lift it? As we can. Bluey grimly hissed, and so we shuffled with it to the lip of that seemingly bottomless pit, and we chuck it, that sleeper, down. And we listen again. Not a flaming peeper. We listened again and again. Not a single solitary sound. Just then there's a noise behind us and hearts leapt in the throat. Coming through the bush, flat chat, is this enormous billy goat. Bloody huge it was. Heads down, horns curved and as long as a punchman's hole. So both sides of that pit we shriekingly swirled. Billy go? He goes straight on and straight down into the murky depths of that hole. Well, as we stood there marvelling at this pretty wild occurrence, this bloke walks around the corner of the bush, you know, makes a sudden appearance. "G'day, Blue," he says.
Gee,
Says Blue.
it's always the bloody same. Wherever you go in this wide round, every bugger knows your name.
"G'day, Blue," he says, "I've lost me prize billy goat. He costs $5,000 and the mongrel's always sloping off and his Billy Muggins here who follows. We've been tracking him 20 clicks so far and I'm starting to lose me rag. One of these days he's out with a 303 and he'll come home in his tucker bag." The stranger mopped his brow with a rueful smile.
It'd have been better off using a hanky.
"Thank you very much, Blue." He says, "What am I, me manky blanky billy goat flaming keeper? Any roads, he won't get too far, tied as he is, to a bloody great concrete railway sweeper." Blue at a time.
Yeah.
We better get our assays into gear and down to the refiner.
Yeah, good luck looking for your billy goat, Dig, but I suggest you
might start looking in China. We'll finish up with Bruce and Sheila. This was one of the poems I wrote after going up to the Pilbara in the mid-80s and doing some work up there, some collecting and finding out that women were starting to move in on the men's jobs. In the 60s and the 70s, or the late 60s when they started opening up, and the 70s, it was single men's quarters, the animals bar, it was blokes, 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 blokes. And then the women started moving in and taking over the jobs that the men would muck up, like haul pack drivers. They got fed up with them being driven off the end of stopes and rolling over, backing over other vehicles that were so huge. So they started putting women on because they weren't so irresponsible. And Sheila heard about this and she decided that she wanted to become a shovel driver. Shovel driver, best job in the whole of the mine. Huge big fat chair, lots of levers, big machines to play with, and you're left on your own, and you've got a greaser who does all the dirty work for you and greases, keeps everything moving. But you just sit there like Lord Muck and drive the crane.
Most important, you've got an air conditioner.
Yes.
Everyone else is out there sweating their guts out and you're nice and cool with it. Esky on one side with icy cold sandwiches and an esky on the other side with icy cold stubbies.
Absolutely.
Perfect job.
Because it was allowed in those days. It wasn't allowed, but they sort of moderately ignored it until you sort of did some damage probably. But, yes. So, well, thank you very much. Listen, thanks guys for having us along here. Gosford, wonderful. Gosford, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. Before we finish, we've got to say we're at the Woy Woy Troubadour in April, if any of you are around at that point. Not sure what the date is, but it's on our website, so I'm sure.
I'm going to have a new show by then, which is rather good. All right. What is it?
Bruce and Sheila.
Bruce and Sheila. All right, go. Bruce climbed out of his cot. He hadn't long been born and he went to play by the creek. He fell in love with a girl. The puppy love swirled. Best of friends for a week. And then the school bell rang. They fired into class. Him for his woodwork. Her wheat cordon bleu. Him for maths. Her for sewing. Her for netball. Him for rowing. Yet they still remain fast friends and true. And the years moved on by and they were both now 16 and Sheila, she's 19 months gone. All boom. Got a bed-sitting room with attached kitchenette where mobiles swing and small brass bells chime. And they, armed with a flagon of very, very rough wine, would sit on the sink with a view, drink, gaze at the sea, and they'd plan their life through. What about this? Let's give Melbourne a miss. Let's go work in the Pilbara, they say. Look at Margaret and John, and Annabelle and Ron came back with a bomb and bought an house near enough straight away. So now they're travelling west, down past Euclid and across the moon-filled plain. Not fast, cruising easy, from one shocker gone and the roof-spattered wing, all desire for speed had suddenly waned. And then they're stalled at Carnarvon for the Gascoignes in flood and the wallet and purse turned mean. Into the office, chat up the SS, go Sheila and Bruce, and the kid, nicknamed Jellybean, because of the shape of his head, you know. Enough fuel for Tom Price, a 20 for food, past a cow, 10 foot up a tree, down a road made of mud to a new town built on hot sweat and blood barely 20 odd years ago. And it's 4 years in a caravan park in an 18 by 8. And no air conditioning for years 3, but it's a pretty good life for a husband and a wife and a kid with a head like a bean, who's now into school. Dad works at the pub, Mum Mum's on B shift as a greaser. She's got a company home and ambition to please her. She's got a heart set on driving a shovel. At first, some blokes think, duh. Some blokes don't think, and some blokes roar, it's all wrong. But our Sheila, she smiles, nearly always, while on her lip hovers the latest top song. And after a while, they answer her smiling, hey, you Sheila, becomes Sheila, mate. And they share jokes and a laugh, a male talk type chaff. And they bund her on if she's late. She comes home early one day, some union strife, and finds Bruce up a typist or two. Mad twins from New Zealand, all laughing and squealing the way Bruce and Sheila once used to do. Well, Sheila's eyes flashed, her tongue flayed, and then lashed her with trembling fingers, she pointed the door. Bruce went to the bank, loaded the car, said, look, love, I'm sorry, we're there, not to worry, I just don't really love you no more. And twin exhausts rumble, and with an airy wave, the past heads east. She stands deep, deep in thought, glad to find that she's told neither. For now the pathway's clear, she can reciprocate the love felt by B-shift's top shovel driver. And that afternoon, whilst out on the grass, their union drinks an esky called beer, and with stubbies on high, the toast ripped the sky, and the bean-headed kid gives 3 cheers. Hooray! He didn't like his dad either. Thank you very much.